Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Sorry I haven't posted a long video in a while. It's been kind of busy with my surgery and getting back to school and stuff, but I'm back today to test out and review Woomers acrylic paint markers, and I am so excited. First of all, I couldn't find scissors, so I grabbed one of my nail tools, but anyways, I didn't actually know if this box was from Woomer. I was just kind of guessing, and thank goodness it was. Also guys, I have a 15% off discount code if you use this code right now that I'm putting on the screen. You can find their products on Amazon, and their links will be in the description, so go check them out. I honestly had no idea what they were gonna look like. I also really quickly would like to just mention how grateful I am for this, because Woomers sent me these products and they were so nice to reach out to me. I appreciate them so much, so I just wanted to give a big thank you to Woomer, and everybody make sure to go check out their products. Again, it'll be linked in the description. Anyways, the box that they sent me was a 72 colors straight liquid acrylic markers, non-pumping, water-based inked, brush fine tip. Also, I was a little confused at first because a lot of the writing was in Chinese, but then I remembered this is a Chinese-based brand. On the packaging, it was in English, but then on the box, it was Chinese. So I wasn't able to read what was on the box, but I could pretty much see all that I needed to, and look at the colors, they're so pretty. Also, if you guys have probably noticed, I noticed that when I first opened this, it looked different than what I've ever seen. There were like different sections that were clipped on top of each other, so you could unclip all of the sections and lay them out, which I personally think is super cool and can be a little inconvenient because to lay them all out, it takes up a ton of space, but I think it's really cool because then you can separate it all and see all of the colors fully. And I noticed that there was a number and a letter at the top of every marker, but the rest of the writing on it was in Chinese, but it looked like there was a spot that had directions and it said to shake it, but then I looked it up and it said you didn't have to pump it or shake it or anything, that it should just work right away. So I thought that was super cool because you don't need to go through and activate each one, because 72 is a lot of markers to go and activate each one. So I pulled out this piece of cardboard from the box just to test them, because I wanted to just see what they were like on something that wasn't white, because I hadn't tested them out yet. And from first use, I've never used paint markers before, and this was super satisfying. You could see that when I wrote my name, it was a little bit faded and it didn't show up super great, but I was also using it on cardboard, so I just wanted to kind of test them out and see what they felt like. So yeah. I did notice off of first glance they did not have a swatch card, which I love swatch cards because then you can test out every single color, and as you can see, there are so many different colors. Off of first glance, I thought that it was a pretty good range, but I decided to draw myself a little swatch card to test them all out on because I didn't want to just go in for it. I wanted to know what colors were in the box, so I made myself one, and I know if you're an artist watching this probably hurts your eyes to see how uneven and unstraight these lines are, but guys, I wasn't too worried about it. Also, I started to write the numbers on each marker, but it kept messing up and I got annoyed, and I decided I am not going to write the numbers and I'm just going to draw them out and then keep them in the same order. So yeah, you don't have a number match to each color, but I think it's okay because I did not have the patience or the energy to write down each number to go with each marker, and I think it's pretty easy to tell which color goes to each marker because of the cap. Sorry, I'm probably gonna say marker like 30 times in this video, but just don't mind that. This part is honestly the most satisfying in the whole video. I don't know what it is, but just seeing the swatches is so satisfying in my opinion. And as you guys can see, it's like really wet when I first draw it, and then it dries kind of just like acrylic paint, but in a marker form, because that's exactly what these pens are. And I think it's honestly so cool because I mentioned this in the beginning of the video. I've never used acrylic markers before, but I've wanted to test them out for so long. So that's why I just felt like it was perfect when Woomer reached out to me and asked if I wanted these, because I was like, absolutely, let's test these out. Also, one little complaint is one of the clasps did break, which it was probably my fault honestly because I kept playing with it, but yeah, all of these colors, I feel like there's a really good range and they're so bright and beautiful. Also, little desk change. I got a new desktop. It's white instead of brown, and it's clean and it's perfect for videos, and I love it. And I got this new tripod for Christmas. How awesome is that? So I'm really sorry to inform you, but I did this full page of like doodles and my footage completely deleted. I have no idea where it went, like genuinely. Speaking about losing footage, guys, I did not know CapCut was getting banned when TikTok was getting banned, so I lost all of this footage from my video, but I hacked the system and I got it back somehow, but that part of the footage was still gone. I don't know why, I'm so sorry, but you still got to see the final product. I just did it to kind of test out the markers and just kind of get a feel for them. I'll talk about CapCut in a second, but guys, I started this sketch because basically like I have mentioned probably a million times in this video, I've never used markers like this before, so I wasn't exactly sure what to draw. So I watched some videos of other people who drew with acrylic markers. I saw lots of people draw more close-up faces because then you can kind of get more of a feel for the markers. So I decided to do like an abstract face drawing. I don't know, I felt like using a lot of colors and not making it super realistic, so I was looking on Pinterest and I found a reference. I'll show it to you in a minute, I think, and I definitely drew it very differently. I didn't copy at all, but just the idea of the hair in the face and all of the colors and the swoopiness. Also, don't mind my nails, half of them were chipped off because I normally use extensions on my nails and I decided to keep them short this time, and the gel was just not sticking to my nails. Also, I got tired of having to turn the page to look at the swatches, so I just ripped it out of my sketchbook. But going back to CapCut, guys, CapCut was what I used to edit, so I literally cannot use it to edit anymore. TikTok got unbanned, so I'm hoping CapCut will too, but we'll see. For now, I'm using one called VN. It's kind of like CapCut, but it's also very different, so if my video is edited not very good or it seems different this time, it is, and hopefully I can get CapCut back so I can edit like normal, or I just need to get used to this editing app, either way. But talking about the markers, because that is the point of this video, is to review the markers. Off of first glance, I think it's super satisfying to use these, but they do not have the best opacity. Like I had to do multiple layers on pretty much everything I colored. Like you can see on the lips, that's after 2 coats, so it's more like solid and colored in now, but you can kind of see on this brown for the base of the skin, it's kind of a little bit splotchy and I had to go back, but I also think I colored a really large area of it. I'm not sure, I just had to go over with a few coats. It was no problem, but that is just something to be aware of. Other than that though, I feel like these markers were really full and like none of them really dried out on me this whole time I was coloring. Also, to my coloring style, I was kind of experimenting on what I wanted to do for it because, like I said, I've never colored abstract like this. I'm used to alcohol markers that blend super easily and you don't really need to do much work, but these are very different. I've never like paint colored something besides like actual paintings because I do actually love painting. So I was kind of just going for an abstract, blocky, like not perfect vibe, and I personally struggle with making drawings quote unquote not perfect because I like to make things super blended, but I think like messy drawings or like not perfect drawings honestly look better, and I'm trying to get better at doing that, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I was just kind of experimenting, but these markers are so fun to work with. I think I don't know, I was just having so much fun. This is the most fun I've had filming a video in a while because it's just so different than what I normally do, and I think that's something I've been trying to work on, is to do things differently than normal and to try to draw new things, use new techniques for drawing, stuff like that. You guys have probably noticed that the style of this drawing is really different from my style. Like, it's kind of similar. It's also very different because I've heard from a lot of people I have same face syndrome, which is basically where all of my drawings look like they have the same face, which I totally get it, but it's also my style. That's just how my style looks. It's like I don't change how I draw eyes every single time I draw, but I've been trying to do a little bit different things every time, and since this time was more of an up close drawing, I felt like it was pretty easy to make it look a little bit different than normal. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with that, making it look a little bit different. I think for the markers, the hardest part with the opacity was the hair, just like the light color of it. It's harder to tell on camera, but it was more splotchy in real life. But since there was so much texture going over it and I was doing so much layering, I think it was fine. And speaking of layering, I wanted to test and see how good these markers were for layering, because I know that some acrylic markers I've seen on reviews can make the paper peel if you layer. Layering just sometimes doesn't always work on top of other acrylic markers, but for this set, I think it worked super great. I think on light colors on top of really dark colors had a little bit of trouble and I just had to layer. I think in general, like, the paper did not peel at all, like this whole drawing, and it was super easy to layer. You just had to do a few layers of some colors to make them show up good, like that blue. But yeah, I honestly thought this was super fun, adding all the colors, and the hair is just the most exciting part because it was so colorful, and I I don't know, I thought it was so fun. I think if you're thinking about getting some acrylic markers, I definitely recommend these markers because there was a lot of color options. I think my biggest complaint about the colors was just there could have been more dark browns. There weren't very many browns for like layering purposes, but I think other than that, there were so many colors to choose from, and it's honestly a great selection. 72 is a lot of colors. The price is around $50, but I think it's genuinely worth it, and I highly recommend if you guys were wanting to get markers like this to get this brand. And speaking of markers like this, I would recommend you just get markers like acrylic markers in general because it's just something more fun to have, and I feel like you can add details on top of any normal drawing with any medium with these. I also want to try out layering colored pencils on top of these markers sometime, so I'll let you know how that goes. Maybe I'll make a short of it. Also, I'm just gonna mention, because I know I'm gonna get comments like this, yes, I am planning to do a tutorial now that I have a good tripod, a good desk, a good way of filming, and I just need to figure out a good way to edit, and then I will totally do a tutorial for you guys because I know everybody's been asking for a tutorial for bodies, for coloring, etc. But anyways, I'm just adding up the finishing touches. I added some purple accents to outline. I added some little squiggles on the face and some blocks just Anyways, and I had to end off my drawing by signing it and adding the date, which I just added the year because I didn't feel like putting the whole date on there. But yeah, I honestly love how this drawing turned out. I think it's so cool and so different from what I normally do. It's so abstract and colorful, and I'm obsessed. So I'm obsessed to say the least. I love all the bright colors. I love how smooth it looks, and this was all thanks to the markers. Again, use my discount code if you guys are interested. The links are in the description. Thank you so much, Woomer, for sending these to me. I 10 out of 10 recommend that you go and buy them. Stay tuned for lots of more content from me soon. I love you guys so much. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!